It's like 39 degrees out there. It was trying to rain, so there was a couple of times that it was actually, like barely raining. But we went to the park anyway. We were a quarter of a mile in before we saw our first squirrel, and then 3/4 of a mile in before we actually started seeing squirrels. But we did see the blue jays and the woodpecker. And so, yeah. The woodpecker, I got a couple of good pictures of the woodpecker. I don't know about the blue jays because they were kind of snatch and grabs today. So, as were the squirrels. They were like, it is cold, it is wet, give me my peanut. It was great. So yeah, good time was had by all. Now it's just come home, warm up. It was a three cat lap night. I had 3 cats in my lap last night. I had one on my ankles, one on my shins, and one in my lap. And then, yeah, it just went from there. So I stayed plenty warm last night. Okay, and I've got one in here today, but he's not curled up. He's hunched up. Not quite loaf position. He's in that dragon position where he's got his elbows up. Like, which actually is a thing, an artist said, if you want to make a dragon menacing, use cat poses. And if you want to make a dragon, friendly and silly, use dog poses. And then I started looking at the dragon poses and went, oh, okay. So, just a little, thought that was interesting. But what we're doing is the Voice Celestial, and I don't know why I'm delaying. I'm actually really enjoying it, but we're starting a new chapter today. We're starting life and death today. Whew. So we're going to jump from the frying pan into the fire, I'm really enjoying the poems. I hope you are too. So let's do the housekeeping and let's get on with this. All right. So the housekeeping is just reminding you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelife.org. The constant contact email, of which you get one a week unless something unusual happens, is info@creativelife.org. That will get you one email telling you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot, and nobody will get your email. We do not monetize the social medias. We don't want to deal with ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do is go to our platforms, and like, subscribe, share, comment, follow. It bumps us in the algorithms, and we appreciate that. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark, and I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I'm on. So we would appreciate if you would, do that, depending on the platform and what it is that you do. So I think that's pretty much the housekeeping. So you can tell that I'm about to do the reading because I turned the light on and, which washes me out, but that's okay. This is not a vanity project. This is about, this is one of my spiritual practices, if you didn't know that, to do this every morning. I just, when I realized it might benefit other people too, that's when I started doing it on camera. Okay. So this is the chapter of life and death, and it's got a really interesting little picture here. And then the little paragraph that it uses to start off with, no death can come unto the soul of man though paths may wind through the darkest gloom. For God is life, and you are life, and life are one. More close to him are you than shadow, deeper than the brain that thinks, than the heart that beats, than self that loves and feels upon the earthly plane. Yourself, immersed within the cosmic self, can never know an end. The soul of man endures. So that is the intro to the chapter on life and death. So I'm going to remind you, we have 4 voices as of yet. We've only heard from the Farer, which is me and you, the Scribe, and the Presence. There are the old masters, and I'm guessing we'll get them later on. So we are going to start with the Farer. Thou Presence dear, through whom I fain would see behind the veil of this mortality, acquaint me now if there be meaning to the ceaseless search of man to bring to view that which the ages have not verified why man was born, why lived, and why he died. Is there some monster force who gave him breath to sing and dance, to swiftly lose in death, but soon forgot by gods who turn away to find some other joke, some other game to play? I bitter grow, because my very soul has pain to know. As surely as man lives, does he not die? As surely as he comes, does he not go? Nor leaves upon the trackless waste of time one forward step into the vast unknown. Beyond the blood-stained path his feet have trod, in anguished questing through the endless years, like insubstantial shadows, phantoms of the night, and in the dark man vanishes, to be no more, nor to be seen. From naught he comes, to naught does he return, and leaves no emptiness of space, save in the hearts that also die in pain of grief. For all the longings of the human race, in utter loneliness, do find no slightest hope to light the dark in which they vainly grope. O presence, you stand so near, I pray, is there no hope that I can find a way? The presence. What is this all-consuming hope? The Farer. That I may satisfy my mind of this, that death is not the end for me or mine. Is there, perhaps, some cave of thought which once explored might lead man back from the dark, one ray of light by which life's mystery can be unsealed? The fondest hopes, the dearest dreams, mean naught unless man knows that he shall some day wake, somehow, somewhere, sometime, to greater life, and find some healing from this plague, the dread disease, the fevered need to know I am undone. The presence. You are too soon dismayed, too tragic in your grief. Like the child, exaggerates each moment of delay. Fear not, the child doth grow into the boy, though oft in melancholy held, disconsolate, amidst ideas half formed, becomes at length a full-grown man. Thy mind is young yet. Thy soul awaits the hour when mind matured shall see and know the truth, that souls were never born, nor can they die. The Farer. Can man survive the change that we call death, to find himself not less but more, renewed, revitalized, and self-aware? Forgive these tears. They are not grief, but I cannot contain myself. My heart beats high with hope to hear thy words, that souls can never die. For if man cannot die, then there is time and place for him where he shall find himself renewed in vigor, where all that made him what he one time was shall make him more. The infant grows into a boy, the boy to a man, the man to a soul, the soul to what? Is there an end, or does the spiral grow and evermore expand? And into what? The presence. 'Tis not alone in breadth or height, but depth the soul doth grow, until it passes into the utter bliss of being, where measurements dissolve in him, transformed from thought to feeling and to love, where life and death and earth and heaven are one. If I didn't say that, that was the presence. And this is the Farer. I think you can tell the difference between their voices now, though. I long to see this further shore beyond the shadow of my doubts. And as the earth awaits the melting of the snow, and the early springtime waits upon the harvest, so do my hopes, and all who dwell on earth in greatest longing wait new life to spring. Like blades of corn from the ancient harvesting, life still dear to human hearts, though brief and filled with pain and tragic woe and grief. Why is it that the gods above delight in planting seeds that scarcely bloom till night, draws on and briefly flourishing must die, and dying leave no answer but a cry? One moment in my heart is my heart upheld by hope, the next my hand with wildest fear doth grope. How often would my mind dissolve the suture that binds me to the past or to the future, unborn alike to outer self or in, and never know that I have ever been. The presence. Man, the master over forces, man himself selects the course. He shall follow, he shall fly. Man above the stars transcendent is with the fate no more contendent. He who now can rule the sky, one more field alone to master, into that which he presses faster, faster, faster soars on high. Past the stars his course is sweeping, past the bars of death and weeping. Life is life and cannot die. The scribe. The farer gazed into infinity with face so rapt it almost seemed that he had pierced the veil into eternity. Then, like the beast who fails to arch the wall and gives one scream of anguish in its fall, he cries, words, words, I do not know at all. The presence. No death can come unto the soul of man, though paths may wind through darkest gloom, for God is life, and you are life and life are one. More close to him are you than shadow, deeper than the brain that thinks, than the heart that beats, than self that loves and feels. Upon the earthly plane, yourself immersed within the cosmic self can never know an end. The soul of man endures. The farer. You draw a picture beautiful enough, but even as you speak, I hear a sound that chills me to the bone. The stifled cries of those who mourn and bear their dead away. Death gives the lie to life, nor can the soul, if there be a soul, return to life again. Beyond the measure of the stars in space are those unnumbered hosts of coffined men, across whose burial caves the stones were rolled, and ashes left with ashes, dust to dust. While weeping kindred stood in mortal grief and cried, It is too late, O Christ, it is too late. Hadst thou but come, my brother then would not have died upon the earth alone. Can life be found? I weep because of death, and weep because of chaos and the night that falls upon us all. No one escapes. The presence. In just such scene as this was Jesus seen. And when they rolled away the stone, he gave one shout to Lazarus, Come forth. And forth he came. Deep in the soul of man, life dwells forever, part of the cosmic life, never to die. Thou shalt not go to the narrow room when they lay thy body in the tomb. Lo, how thy soul upsprings with mighty spreading of its wings, and it shall mount in its upward flight to God and the stars and the morning light, to souls beloved in the days of yore. They are not lost, they have gone before. But fear not, farer, thy soul upsprings, for thou hast wings. And we are picking up with the voice of the farer. Just a reminder, the voice of the farer is me and you. Oh, sir, your tongue is touched with fire, and when I hear, my joy has wings, and I am wrapped with wonder and intoxicating bliss. But all too soon the winter chill bites through my Indian summer heat, and I am cold again. If gods have love, creative power to put their love to test, why do they not devise a simple way for simple men to understand and know? To let us speak, perhaps, to those whom men call dead. Unveil the face and let us see the one beloved and know. Make clear to broken hearts and trembling souls that when the fiercely burning flame consumes the flesh and turns it back to dust, that there still remains a kernel from earth's harvesting to seed new forms of life in realms more fair, where souls eternal live in paradise, when dust and ashes shall have claimed their own, and all the earth has been consumed. Will life have been a dream, a naught from which naught came? Struck down with grief's foul blow, I vainly try with lips gone dumb to make my own reply. But thou, O seer or friend, if thou be real and not a vision conjured by my fevered brain, I pray thee, answer now. The presence. I shall depart, if still thou dost not know me in thy heart. The fair. Stay, stay, for whom or what art thou? It matters not. Thou art my only hope, and I believe, nay, more, I know thou art. Without thee, I were dead, already dead, were I to walk the shores of paradise towards which I yearn, and find thee not. I would retrace my steps and search for thee throughout the void or hell. You are so much to me. The presence. Since you accept on earth the evidence of mind against the strident claims of sense, should not your soul have equal power to be awake in terms of immortality? Then fear thou not, O farer, on the way that leads through the nights to the eternal day. For I shall go with you, and there is one whose love for you is greater than my own, who will not leave you comfortless nor alone. The farer. Your words are solace, like the morning sun that warms my soul with grateful praise and thanks. The presence. The mountain peaks of devotion pierce the dome of blue, conjoining heaven and earth, and the far, the near, the high, the low are one, where life and light dawn from the central sun. The farer. But if God loves, why then the pain he pours as fiery lava down volcanic heights? Can this be love? How is it that the sons of men are scourged by flame, by famine, and by flood, by pestilence, by fire-tipped thunderbolts of wrath which scorch the shuddering earth that quakes beneath man's feet, as though itself had horror of the scourging lash of gods, whose one desire is to destroy the earth by ice and fire? The presence. Thy words have frenzy, as by one bewitched. the fairer. I do not aim my speech at thee, but at the almighty force, who, if possessed of power to save, but does not save, seems more of beast than God to me, more worthy of contempt than worship. Love and wisdom would not strike so foul a blow, nor would permit the race to undergo the torture on the rack of human suffering. Should gods not weep to see the faculties, Should gods not weep to see the faultless child laid low by foul disease, racked by the pain of festered wounds, and fed upon by inner forces, which, like vultures, keeping watch upon their prey with ravenous appetites, await the end, and hovering above the dying form, make haste to wrest the flesh from off the bone, while wind and rain and earth claim all the rest. If this be love or wisdom, let me die, and leave my bleaching bones to lie beneath a pitiless, ungodly sky. The presence. Not gods, but men are authors of their pains, harsh though it seems, and bitter to know. Man has his choice. Two paths to him are given. To every goal, a right way and a wrong. In each soul there shines a heavenly light, that he may know the wrong way and the right. No accident occurs by cosmic plan, and heaven itself provides escape for man. Illumined souls find light before the fire, which is for blinded eyes a funeral pyre. And inner wisdom shows to them the path which skirts the rim of evil and of wrath. The fairer. But how shall man escape the waiting ills that spring upon him in unwary hours, like jungle tigers lurking at the pool, whose cruel jaws do crunch the artless child, and rend his flesh to feed their whining young? Why is man cast upon the sea of life, with no safe harbor from the storms, and with no anchor that will hold his fragile bark from breaking on the reefs, whose rock-toothed jaws devour the stouter ship? How answer this? The presence. So quickly doth thou seek escape, and turn from him who has alone the answer to the questions that you ask. The fairer. Who then is he? And I will scour the world to seek him out. The presence. It is thyself, my friend, thyself alone, in whom the answer lies. All that there is of wisdom, truth, or light is found intact within each human soul. This is no wish, nor idle dream, from which you wake to find no meaning. Nor is the soul a dream, nor man a dream of gods who rule above. For man is substance, and not shadow, one with causing cause, the primal cause, that which is all originating. The fairer. Whence then the tragedy of life, my life? Why have the gods assigned such penalty to ignorance? For suckling at the breast, man all but hears the curfew bell that tolls the passing of his soul into the veil beyond. If so he pass at all, to what? To where? A mystery as great as whence and why he came. The road ahead is blind, as is the jungle path he left behind. The presence. Man is not cast upon the sea of life by deity in mere caprice to sink, at length unmourned, unnoted, and alone in depths arcane. The sea is man's to sail, the stars are his to guide, the winds are his to drive his ship against the tide and storm, or run with bellied sails to ports afar. How glorious the great adventure of the free-born soul, where power to him is given to choose his port and steer to hell or heaven. The fair. But there is pain that is not well deserved. The presence. It is not pain imposed. And if there be a mystery, 'tis less a mystery to find it self-imposed than to conceive a God who visits pain on good and bad alike, and damns the very soul he loves. There is no recourse known against the gods, but suffering, when self-imposed, can be deposed. The captive sets the captive free. The fairer. If this be so, then must it also be that in every evil lies a hidden good, and man can take a profit out of pain. The presence. The powers above await the heart reborn, but discipline and faith and love of him whose soul has been redeemed, not by their grace, but by an inner awakening to that which is. Such awakening rests not upon the gods, but on the self that knows at last that it is soul and cannot find release until the self with self has made its peace. The fair. Is it then true that life but points to death and reconciliation with the gods? The presence. There is an end to form of flesh, but not to that which truly is thyself, the seed of life within, which cosmic life has strewn upon the earth, as yet not half revealed, but which in time will manifest its being. Like to a lotus seed that bursts in bud and lifts its face a glory to the sun, when morning light has pierced the fearsome dark. Celestial seeds are planted deep, so deep that man is unaware they had their source within the gardens of the gods, until the time has come to pluck the golden fruit that ripens when the harvest hour has struck. But all the while, the higher power keeps guard, nor are men ever lost from sight by that heavenly one who knows and cares and loves. The cosmic mind can never fail, nor does it make mistakes. The end is sure, and he will bring the seed to fruit in ripened souls. The fairer. Am I, O friend, such seed? Can this be true, that I myself am that and what you have affirmed? And if there be such self or soul or God, why am I then half swallowed up in dust, and suffer need and feel the adder's sting of pain, and bear its venom in my veins? The presence. The boundless seas, outflung from pole to pole, surrender to the will of man. The stars are his by which to steer his bark, but each must pick his own. Polaris fixed and sure, or Algol, blinking demon often called. And when his star is set, it is man's hand alone that holds the tiller to its course. Within each man a sacred center lies, within which neither birth nor death can ever change, where the self immortal waits the kiss, that wakes and weds him to eternal bliss. The Farer. Do you in truth intend to tell me this? By freedom man is bound, and doubly bound, since he has power to choose and is not wise in choices made. Far better that his stars or gods should first ordain, then compel obedience to the law that, saved from hell and suffering on earth, he might secure a bliss that would eternally endure. From freedom such as this, I pray of thee, whatever powers may be, deliver me. How long, O life, how long the tragic trail o'er land and sea, where hopes grow dim, and when the shadows fall across the weary soul? The Presence. Yet souls may sing in darkened solitude, and peace descend from lofty mountain heights, from which the waters fall unseen beneath, obscuring clouds which have the land, which lave the land and serve the soil and all the seeds of man, and then pass on to join the sea from which they came. But if we the Farer, but if we fail in trials of this life, shall we return to beat the load again? The Presence. Each soul shall onward go, nor shall return, for there are worlds on worlds and seas on seas and range on range of mountain heights, and nebula that spiral up and out into infinity. Or slow or fast, the soul moves forward and needeth no return. The Farer. And yet some do say that the souls are young or new here on earth, and ancient souls return. What answer can you give? The Presence. There is no call for souls to here return in order to fulfill the purposes of evolution. Infinity does not require repeat of birth on earth to thus economize on time or place for the unfoldment of a soul. Nor does the memory recall with surety events of other lives the soul once lived upon earth. Must it be dead to self that was for some score years? Essential self is awareness of the self, and of the self-same self that flows throughout eternity, nor can it be unconscious of itself. Soul is a stream of consciousness that flows out of the first awareness of itself through time into eternity. Man is himself eternity, hence he shall have memory of his identity. If then you fail recall of earthly lives, be not distressed. You cannot recall the negative. The Farer. I am by you inspired. 1,000 deaths were dearer far to me than one return to live my life again here on earth. Were I compelled to duplicate each day of it, in this were hell. But where did powers above design an earth so filled with tragedy and grief, if they have power to build a heavenly place beyond the veil? The Presence. Man is not man unless to him is given the power of choice, to keep or break the law of harmony, which, if he breaks him. It is by this he learns and grows. The powers did not create his fate, nor could foresee the fate of him in whom the seed of life was planted at his birth, save that they knew some day he would awake in joy and cry aloud, I am a soul, a living soul, and I am born not of the earth, but of heaven. I shall survive the dust. The Farer. But if he does not awake, what then? Will he go on? What good were life if he does not awake? The Presence. No one is lost. Of this you may be sure, that life cannot be lost. It will endure. That which men call hell will pass away, and souls go on into eternal day. Awake, O farer, be it known, you harvest what your hand has sown. No God above pronounces woe, no devil waits for you below. The gates of heaven will ope to view. Look for the key inside of you. So this is the Farer. I am at once exalted and dismayed, lest freedom bind and will not let me free. I long to lose myself in thought of self, that so at length I truly find myself. The Presence. No failure lies in the eternal plan, and no mistake was made in making man. He is no wreck cast upon the ocean's side to be forever beaten by life's tide. Just as one spark is parcel of the flame, so from one mind all things in nature came. And though the path of evolution wind before the advent of that mind, on whom the Father lavishes his care, still galaxies and souls one spirit share. And man no more shall prate of common sod, for all he sees shall spell the name of God. The Farer. Why then do children die and aged men make painful way down to the dust again? And why do souls have thirst? The Presence. In every drop the sea, in every cell the universe, in every soul the life of God, and each contains full power of all. Life does not give in parts, but wholes. There is no separation, no near nor further out, no deeper down nor higher up, no void, no yonder, and no hopes that cannot be fulfilled. The power of all obtains in all, and everywhere is here, and here is there. Draw thou on it if thou wouldest truly be complete, nor suffer thirst again. Each soul is drawn from circuits of the universe, where life and actions have their center, and where every point is joined with every point. And each event unites with each event in sequence after sequence without end. And all the seasons of becoming are unfoldment of events that form a chain to stretch into eternity, and step by step man walks among the suns and stars, consorting with the hosts of beings whose existence he has never known until he struck a higher chord in his own soul to which they could respond. The Farer. If thou shouldest add a single word until I still my heart of its mad beat, I fear my soul would take its flight, yet would I gladly go if I might break the sheath that deadens sound and hear such voices speak in accents sweet and clear. The Presence. Thy soul has kinship in the higher spheres with beings nobler than the mind conceives, both venerable and beautiful in form and face, and like to gods are wise, impure, impassive wisdom. Truth is their bread, and they attain by thought and not by sweat. All things exist in essence and in form as real, and so are seen in wholes and not in parts. All things that are one with all, and not on these high planes is hid from sight. Each soul is loved by every other soul, nor is one great, the other small or less, for each is in the all embraced. The all embraced in each, just as the light of suns includes the light of other suns, so that they are one light. Yet each is still aware of each, and each is self-aware, as suns and stars that from the galaxy are seen in parts and in whole. And things are there which serve the needs of souls, for things of earth had source from things above. It is their native habitat. They are not ghosts of earthly things transposed, but permanent ideas, the real of which the things of earth are vaporous counterpart. The Farer. This is beyond the measure of my mind. Oh, that I might become a mirror to reflect such lore from heaven, to become aware of that which is. How can it be? The presence. The mind is key. For lesser gods, in truth, are aspects of the one. In him, the least is great, the small no less, and every soul is more by far than man has recognized as yet. Then do thou, farer, drink this sweet elixir. Wisdom doth embrace within itself all qualities. As truth, it is the law by which effect must follow cause. As good, it is the law of right and wrong. As holiness, the choice of good, and so the freedom from all sin. A choice so wise that it gives rise to happiness and peace. As beauty, it is harmony of all, the diverse parts, and blends them into one. And most of all is wisdom found in love, the soul's desire for good in all its forms. The Scribe. The Farer could not speak, but seemed as one who falls into a trance, yet on his lips appeared to formulate the mystic words, "Be still, my soul, for thou art that, and naught exists beside." He heard, or seemed to hear, translation of his vision into words of active faith. I gladly give thee all thou aimest at, this answer to your call. Lo, thou art that. I am thy life within thee. Be not afraid. Lose thou thy life within me. One are we made. I am the good thou cravest, forever nigh. Whenever thou dost say, I am that I. The Farer lay there unaware of time or place, and wondered at the words that fell from his own lips. The vision quite forgot. At length he spoke. O Presence, if thou be within reach and hearing of my voice, I pray thee now, interpret unto me, didst thou perceive or know by higher means what came to me? The Presence. This is a vision far beyond your reach of understanding at this hour, but in due time the meaning shall be given of thy swift vision through the doors of heaven. Unto this larger life you shall attain, and all men shall attain. What spirals first of upward winding stars, no man can tell, but step by step he mounts to the higher planes, whereon he stands as on a satellite, and from this point he sees with keener sight. But with the moment's vision not content, he hurls himself into the firmament, unbound by time and uncontained by space, to seek with greater joy a higher place. Upon uncharted ethers, gladly flings himself and dares to trust his wings. The Farer. Oh, one of truth, how true! My surging soul would break the barriers of earth and air and soar in realms beyond this human sphere. I have no fear of death. The presence. Not death. Death is so called, but is but a myth, and time is but the numbering of events, while space is but a name by which we strive to make the unknown knowable, and love and death are but sequences through which the less doth pass along to form the fullness of a greater good. All men shall some day reach that greater good and know the joy of being and of truth. But he who knows the truth today shall live in eternal now and enter peace. The Scribe. As morning glories catch the dawning light and open their eyes to greet it with a smile, so did a joy break through the puzzled frown upon the Farer's face. And then he laughed, a clear, sweet sound like temple silver bells. And thus he spoke, the Farer. Is this indeed what I should understand? Proclaim the truth throughout the questing land, that all that is lies in life's sequences, and life and death form no antithesis, and the whole wide universe was wrought by primal cause projecting thought, and so, obedient to laws, each new effect becomes a cause. The stream of life brings to man's door all that has ever gone before, and he himself has the power to cause a new effect from that which was. Let him rejoice that now is his, and leave the rest to sequences. Today with the Scribe. The Farer's laughter rang upon the air and found an echo in the universe, as though angelic choirs with harps of gold had joined the anthem, singing songs that seemed antiphonal with the one word joy. The Farer. In truth, the words you speak, O Presence, Lord of Light, are like the day star shining in the night. The perfume of the rose is not so sweet, nor lilies at the Galilean's feet. Only an incense wafted from above could lift the soul to such high planes of love. The Scribe. Yet even as the pressure of his doubt was siphoned off, new doubts arose, and on his face, more eloquent than words, appeared the age-old suffering, the mark of tragic unbelief. The Farer. Faith does accept, but reason puts to rout, and I am caught between them. If in the end man's destiny is sure, could not the powers that hold his fate in hand have mixed the clay with more celestial stuff, so that the bowl would hold more laughter's joy and less of sorrow's grief and suffering. The presence. They could not thus decree, or else the man would still remain the clod or beast that stalks his prey and knows no moral law, nor feels the joy of conquest of himself. The sufferings of human life are pangs of birth. Though birth be slow, it is not cosmic will that so decrees, but slowness of man's mind to learn the lesson that he taught himself through pain. The nature of the cosmic mind is love, and love is harmony between all parts. Look on the Milky Way of bold Andromeda. 100 billion suns do circulate, nor ever run amiss, sustained by law. But little men collide within their little spheres with the belief they have opposing needs and strive to gain what all alike possess. The Farer. It is not clear. Are we not then compelled by them to fight? The Presence. Let man first ask if he himself is free of malice, hatred, pride, and ignorance. Let each within himself make sure that he has found the central calm. Let him be still and mediate, rejecting one by one all things that bind him to a lesser good. The Farer. What then is the greater good? The Presence. The law supreme is this: the law of correspondence by which the outer world reflects the world within, and wherein once again the secret lies. The reason why the higher powers refrained from fashioning the world and man in such a design that he would be incapable of pain or grief or suffering. He must be free to choose and so become himself a god, but only by his will. Then seek no more, lo here, lo there. You shall not find truth anywhere, though long the quest or wide or high, until with opened inner eye your searching soul shall find revealed the secret which the gods concealed. Look thou within, O soul, and see the God enveloped in the me. The Scribe. The Farer's face was beautiful with joy, as though the finger of an avatar had touched his lips. Nor did he know that he himself had passed beyond the present hour and had, a moment, seen the things to come. Then once again the Presence spoke. The answer to your question, then, is here. The greater good lies in the power to choose. The good, nor God, or gods designed the course or plan for any soul, nor good nor ill for him. The embryonic stuff of all that was to be lay slumbering within. The cosmic mind, the powers did not decree the course of evolution, but conceived unfoldment of inherent powers until there should appear a living soul with power of choice to give or to withhold the passion of his love. Go back with me along the track to trace the law of growth, its process and its course through the endless eons antedating time, until your inner eye shall see and pierce the cosmic egg and find the embryo implanted by the powers. It must contain what was, what is, and that which is to be. It is the germ of protoplasmic life. In it, the germ of protoplasmic life must lie, the future form and mind of man. The Farer. Pray tell me more. I long to know the whole great history and the future of the soul, the presence. Behold with me in primal fields of space the movement of a mind. There mist and light conjoined in heat and fire, which cooled to form the clod there wherein the primal germ of being could incubate and grow, and thus the fourth dimension was reduced to three, and forms could multiply by virtue of the seed. The higher powers were patient while the soul lay sleeping in the mineral, waved in the grass, and followed with the tiger to his lair. At last his consciousness awoke, and lo, a cry, behold, a man, a god of earth. In him the seed of Christ, intellecti, of Adam Kadmon, archetypal man, the realized perfection of the ages. Occasionally, I think Ernest makes up words. But he must still become, for in him lies the mind of him But he must still become, for in him lies the mind of him who rules the galaxies, and so his soul shall once again take flight to spheres beyond this earth, to other light, nor seek oblivion in eternal rest, but find new worlds to conquer, going west into the void where the space has just begun, to view the growth of systems and their sun, and plot the circuit of their wheeling spheres in widening arcs and measured by new years, to test the tensions of the lines of force and find in cosmic mind their primal source. Describe anew the ancient mystic trine where God and man and nature intertwine, and from these higher planes take flight into realms of other space and light. Thus shall the soul of man go on, and never the cycle cease, but will go on forever. Rejoice that man can share in evolution, yet here beware of yielding to illusion. That primal self evolves, for it was one with causing cause before time was begun. Nor need you wait millennia of years in far-off circuits of the rolling spheres, to find the consummation of your quest, and there at last to enter into rest. In further galaxies you will but find new fields to probe with your inquiring mind. Think not that space remote, my friend, achieves the goal and life comes to an end. The end is here and now, this very minute, and you hold all the keys to knowledge in it, not mere pursuit through endless evolution of finite things that fail to give solution to life's enigma. Now must hold the key, not space nor time, and not eternity. If man evades the issue, seeks advance through deeper probing of the vast expanse of galaxies, he will to his despair find failure. Here presages failure. There reject outmoded theories of space, reject philosophies that seek to place the source and the substance of the wheeling spheres in laws mechanical. You need no space nor years to solve the riddle. Discard duality and let the truth of being wake in thee, for what is now is what is going to be. And now is not contained by time and space. In higher consciousness there is no place nor time, and space itself is but an illusion. that dooms the soul to riddles and confusion. The age forecast, when time shall be no more, stands even now a-knocking at your door. The whole wide universe invites your soul to wake and know your oneness with the whole. And he who once has felt the cosmic kiss will need no sign, no higher proof of this than that his soul has fallen into bliss. And I am reminded of the joke, if it's a joke, the philosophical joke. Where do we put it? The angels asked God. Where do we put the soul? Do we put it on the highest mountain? No. Eventually, they'll figure out how to get to the top of the mountains. Do we put it in the deepest soul, or the deepest ocean? No. Eventually, they'll figure out how to get there. Do we put it in the far reaches of the galaxy? No. Because eventually, they'll figure out how to get there. Well, then, cried the angels in despair, where do we put it? We put it within, because man will never look there. That is what that reminds me of. We can spend all of our time outside looking around when the answer is within. And that is what Ernest is trying to tell us. There we are. Well, that finishes life and death, and we are moving on tomorrow to heaven and hell. So, he's not pulling any punches, and he's not getting any easier. All right. So we are 4 chapters in. Hope you're enjoying the ride. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of business day, a you got this day, enjoy the sunshine day, a take a jacket day, a drink plenty of water day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a take care of yourself day, a take a break day, take a nap day, a do what you gotta do day, a you got this day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant and beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, all things are possible. Anything is possible. All right, beloveds. Okay, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. Like I said, I'll be back around 9:15. We will start chapter 5. We will start heaven and hell. That's bound to be interesting. So, take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.